All right. So do the dogs come in now or later?
Is that a bit later? We're talking dogs today.
How much? Like 5 minutes?
One of my favorite subjects.
3 minutes they could come in?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
I think it would be wonderful. Today we have Lieutenant Nick Hall. Been here 23 years.
23.
Yeah, same time I have. You must have come right around the time I did.
Yes, ma'am.
So you had plenty of time to bring the dogs in the studio is what you're saying.
Were you a canine handler from the moment you came?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You have to work to get on that team. And there's got to be a spot open, and there's not a lot of spots. So,
and you are the team leader.
Yes, ma'am.
You are running the show at this point. We're so glad to have you here today. Thanks for taking some time and talking dogs with us, because we do love to talk about our dogs.
Absolutely.
You are second fiddle to the dogs. Yeah. You just, you know how that is. All the kids want to see all the people want to see the pictures of the dogs.
Everybody wants to see the dogs.
And this is the handler.
I want to see the dogs.
I do too. I enjoy them very, very much. And we want to talk about the dogs. Tell us I think we all have seen movies and TV shows about K9 and their handler.
They're also not dogs. They're deputies. They're full-fledged deputies.
In the eyes of the law.
They absolutely are.
So if you harass them, hurt one, it's like you've harassed or hurt a human being.
Everything about the dog in law enforcement is exactly the same thing as it is for a cop. So
it should be.
Yeah. You punch a dog, you might as well punch a cop. So you can pet the dog, don't pet the cop. All right, and that's only if the cop says you can pet the dog.
Don't
the
like
only
that.
difference.
Yeah. That's the only difference.
We have some pettable dogs, but they're protected not just by us and how we feel about them, how we're treated, but statute says the exact same thing. You know, every penalty for harming a police dog is the same as it is for harming a cop. They are sworn in. They're treated the same. They have little badges just like we do. And
only we have treats for them, and probably not for you.
I mean, you can try them. You know, I always tell you to try something you're going to give your dog. You're going to give your dog a treat, it better taste good, so you might want to try it first.
So
you are diehard.
When you first started, you weren't a canine deputy, obviously, but you did point something out. It is a very specialized team. It's a very sought-after team here at the Bay County Sheriff's Office, if not all of law enforcement. But you have to have certain traits in order to be a canine officer, in order to be a canine deputy, in order to work with you guys, essentially. What's the criteria to being a canine deputy?
The biggest trait that a canine deputy needs is the love of the dog, because you're going to spend more time with that dog than you are with your family by a long shot. We work 12-hour shifts, and then we go home for 12 hours. We turn right back around. We're back at work. The dog goes home with you. So,
wow. So they never stay in a kennel here. I mean, well,
only if you go out of town, the team's going to be there to take care of the dog.
Sure.
But as far as your
so they're
typical
not living
day,
in a kennel, unless maybe the bloodhounds might live in the kennel. But.
Yeah. So the dogs that are housed at the jail, because those dogs are working 24/7.
Yes.
Our dogs don't. They work shift work just like we do. They're on call just like they are.
Yeah.
But if you don't love dogs, you can't do this particular type of job, because you're going to spend so much time with them. And it is the greatest job at the sheriff's office, hands down, because it is the only job where you get to hang out with your best friend all night long. All night long. And then you get to take your best friend home with you. So with these handlers, they have to have knowledge of dogs. They have to be willing to work with dogs. You got to be patient, because there's a lot of patience that's involved.
It's a lot of hair.
And it's a lot of hair. There's a lot of cleaning that comes on. Yeah. But these guys do a good job with that. But the guys have to be driven as well, because these dogs need to work. Because if they're not working, they're not expelling energy, and they're not being used as needed, and they're not cheap.
No,
and the training is not short. There's a lot of work that goes into them, so we have to make sure that we're getting them work. So these guys got to be go-getters. They got to go get it.
So you got to earn your spot by being proactive, by being a street cop, a guy who is out there
in
to
love
work.
with dogs.
Yes, you got to show you have the ability to work, and you have the ability to create kind of work that these dogs can be used for. Mm-hmm. And then most of these guys, almost everybody, including my newest member, you got to come out and spend some time with the team and show that you're willing to put in the work. So laying tracks, putting on the bite suit, that's the big one, which people say they want to do until they get in it, and they a lot of people change their mind.
That's a lot of pressure when they bite.
It is a lot of pressure.
Pounds per square inch.
What we have that we use is very safe, and technology is getting better and better. I remember the first suit I put on, I could barely move in, and now they're in pieces where you have full mobility. You can actually take off and sprint if you need to.
Very cool.
Before I was running, I felt like a step off marshmallow, man, just trying to stay up on my feet. But as things get better, the dogs get better.
Of course, we're talking. Your new guy is Deputy Taylor with K9 Bogey. The two are brand new to the team. and they both of them show such enthusiasm when they get out there.
Yes, and they have to.
So we've talked about what it takes to be a canine handler. What does it take to be a canine dog?
Man,
it's different. That's a huge question.
It's very different. There's a lot of things that go into selecting a dog, and it depends on what kind of job we need the dog to do. The dogs you see out on the road, your traditional looking police dogs, your German Shepherds, and now into the Belgian Malinois, those dogs do more than one job. They're dual purpose dogs, which is interesting because they have more than two purposes, way more than two purposes, because those dogs they got to track, do area searches, building searches, your apprehension work, which is the bite work stuff, and then they're going to specialize in one other field, either narcotics or explosives. So you can't do both. You can't have narcotics and explosives because we don't want a dog sitting saying, hey, there's drugs here, and then we get over there and we find something with some wires and something ticking, and we're like, oh no, bad juju. So we have a specialized dog for that right there. But there's the selection process for those dogs is actually more intrinsic than it is for the handlers themselves, because we can't strike out when we select these dogs. If I strike out with a handler, that's not that bad because there's always somebody looking to take your place because people want on the team.
Tell me what happens. If the sheriff says we need another dog, bite dog,
yes,
dual purpose dog.
So if we're looking for a dual purpose dog, we have vendors that we go through to get these dogs. All these dogs come from overseas. They come with little passports. They're stamped and everything, just like it would be for you.
Why is that, by the way?
And overseas, they have very strict laws about their breeding process, and so there's no inbreeding inside litters over there.
Which is a favorite thing for the AKC.
Yeah, so it happens here a lot in the States, which is why you have dogs with bad traits that continue to follow, hereditary issues and things like that. You don't have that over there. The dogs come with X-rays, so we can see the bone structures, all these things, because we have to check it. Because you're spending, a couple $10,000s on these dogs to come do this job. They need to do it for a while.
They come with a level of breeding, temperament, and then training.
Yes. If the sheriff is looking for a dog, he tells me, I call the breeder or
your vendor,
our vendor, and tell them, hey, this is what I'm looking for. When can I come down? And they'll say, hey, we got 10, 15 dogs here. Come look. We go down as a team, and we'll test them. And we have a testing process for the dogs. So we need to see some things. We need to see their ball drive, their prey drive. We need to see what their personality is like, because they have to have a dual personality. And that's exactly what it sounds, an on switch, off switch, right? And we test that with them. We look at them work. We see, and one of the biggest things that we do, which is a really interesting trick, is we will hide what their toy is, and we will time them to see how long they're willing to look for it. And they're
before giving up.
Before giving up.
Interesting.
If it's not at least 3 to 5 minutes, that's not really a dog we're looking for, because
that's
ball drive is important.
That's a long time to a dog.
It is a very long time, but it's a long time to us too as we're sitting there watching, right? But if that dog was willing to search for that long, we know that dog's drive for that ball is massive, and it's important because it comes into training, just like it is for anything else. That is what they're going to be working for, whatever their toy of choice is. A tennis ball, a Kong. We typically try to stay away from tennis balls because they will separate, and you swallow them, and it's bad for the stomach.
Right.
So we stick to things that are supposedly indestructible. And
the Kongs.
The Kong's a big one. And that's what they work for. They work real hard for, and then they work for your love too, just like your dogs at home do.
Sure, they want to know that you're happy with what they've done.
They definitely want to make you happy. Your mom or your dad, and just like a child, they want to make sure you're happy. And just like a child, if you do bad, we're just going to take something away from you, and that's that toy. And they're going to get upset, and they're going to want it back, but they're going to earn it back.
So much like the sheriff's office, there are different divisions for these dogs. We've got your dual purpose dogs. You've got your bomb squad dogs. We've got your jail dogs. Let's go through them one by one. Let's talk about the bomb squad dog.
Yes.
And our newest dog, by the way, Tech, and let's talk about how special he is.
So K9 Tech is very special. K9 Tech is a German short-haired pointer, and he's the first German short-haired pointer we've had at this agency. And I've been here for a long time. I've been on K9 for a long time, and we've never had a German short-haired pointer before, but it's what happened to be available from the breeder. So we had to do some research, learn a little about the dogs. I knew what they were. You see them on TV at the dog shows and stuff, but never trained one. Phenomenal dog. Very high drive, very good temperament, which is important. But with him, he's very special because that specialized job he has with doing our EOD work, our explosive ordnance stuff, is massive for here because we have the only one. in the area.
We have the only bomb squad with the bomb dog.
Yes, from Pensacola to Tallahassee, we're the game.
When you say in the area, you don't just mean Bay County. You're talking about
the entire panhandle.
Yes, and those guys spend more time out of the county than they do in the county doing their job because we're available. Now, I mean, there are dogs at Air Force Base that are EOD, but it's real hard to get them off. So you have to have an executive order to do so. And we have the Fed guys with FDLE and ATF and stuff like that have some dogs, but they're stretched all over the place. We're here, and we're surrounded by counties that touch us, and we're willing to help them. And we do.
I think people get confused when they hear bomb dog and they think, oh, they only come out when there's a bomb threat or something. It's they go out for a lot more than just that.
Yes, they do sweeps. If we have a dignitary coming in town, we just had the Iron Man.
Yeah.
They come out to the Iron Man, and they do sweeps there. The big concerts we have, they sweep areas to give a sense of security and safety, and it's important. And those guys work hard because it's a lot of work. It's big areas, and it takes them. It takes time. You can't just run the dog out there 3 straight hours. You got to get the dog a break because that dog works hard and he's got a lot of energy and he goes hard. So, but it's very special.
Our dogs have searched Air Force One. Our dogs have searched rooms where Supreme Court judges have come for vacation. I mean, it's been across the board, just all kinds of things.
The EOD dog is a very special dog. It's a very special dog, and it's important. So, but we have specialized dog inside our drug unit as well, our narcotics unit. It's K9 Fila.
And she's a Labrador.
She is.
Is that a typical breed for that job?
It absolutely is. For a single purpose, doing just one job, and her job is narcotics only, and Investigator Cummings has her. It's his second one inside that division. And they work a lot. They're probably the most utilized dog in the agency.
She's the one that gets called to sweep around a car.
Yes, if those investigators, if they got something going on, and not just the cars, you got the post offices with packages and stuff there.
That's true.
That's what she's doing, and typically she is putting in more work than anybody else because she gets used a lot. I mean, they're more available as well.
Yeah.
So and that really kind of helps because
you've got your patrol dogs. You've got your drug dogs. You've got your bomb tech dogs. Let's talk about your favorite type of dog. A lot of people's favorite dogs.
And I noticed your shirt has her name on it.
Yes.
Did you see his face light up when I talked about the jail dogs?
I know.
Of course, we were talking about the bloodhound.
Yes.
What makes the
Your
bloodhound?
favorite breed.
When I hear you talk about the bloodhound and your spiel about him, I'm riveted, and I learned so much about him. Yeah. So what makes the bloodhound so special, especially for our agency?
The bloodhound is probably one of the few dogs that exist that is born to do one thing, and that's track. They are made for it. Everything about that dog is made to do that one job. Everything from their ears to that big nose to all that skin. It all goes into helping them do the one thing they can do, and that's track. Because they don't make great pets. Right? They really don't. They slobber. They very
smell.
oily. They have a certain smell about them. You can always tell someone who handles a bloodhound has a bloodhound home because there's a certain smell, and it doesn't matter how hard you clean. It's there. It is what it is.
It's true.
But these dogs, when I say that they were made to do something, everybody feels like they have a purpose. I feel like my purpose is to do the job that I do. A bloodhound's purpose is to do the job that we have them do, and that's tracking. And when they're tracking, they have the big nose with all those olfactory cells in the smell. The bigger the nose, the more the cells. It is what it is, even we humans. But when these bloodhounds track and they put their nose to the ground, all that extra skin that people like to tug on and pet, on the face, and you put the face down, it scrunches up and it's all wrinkly and stuff. That plays a factor because as they're down there and their ears are dragging the ground, it's kicking up all that scent for that person you're looking for right into those folds, and it holds right there by the nose.
That's so
amazing.
Awesome. So I had no idea. Yeah.
So they'll keep going and they'll be tracking. If they stop and they start shaking, they're just shaking up the scent.
You mean like shaking to throw off water, but
Yes.
what they're doing is
They're
something
shaking
very
up that
different.
scent. Yes.
Okay.
So just like a dog would shake when you give them a bath to get the water off of them, help you dry, so when you don't get all your towels wet.
Yeah.
This dog is shaking up all that scent. So if you're an hour into this track, they still know what they're looking for. And they're scent discriminant, which is very important. And it's very hard to teach certain dogs. It's very easy for them because of how well they can smell. So, and when I say scent discriminant, if y'all are Bonnie and Clyde and you're committing crimes, y'all go run off together. One goes left, one goes right. But I really want Clyde, and Clyde dropped a handkerchief. I can give that bloodhound that handkerchief. Stay on that track right there. And when it comes time to do the split, dog's going to go the right way
That's
because it knows the
amazing.
difference. Even though both your scents are in the same spot,
Wow.
So, and scent discrimination is one of the biggest keys in tracking. But these bloodhounds they're great because they're safe.
Yeah.
They're safe. They don't look as scary because they're not.
Kids love
because
them.
they're sweet, and the kids do love them. They pull on the ears and everything else. The bloodhound I had, you could do anything you wanted to her, and she wouldn't say a word to you. She would just
And that was
she
Jazz.
just let you go. That was Jazz. But they at the end of a track, bloodhounds are real good for the missing kids and missing elderly with dementia and stuff like that, because the risk of a bite at the end is extremely minimal. All dogs bite, and a bloodhound may bite, but the bloodhound doesn't have a strong jaw. So even if they did, it's not going to break bone. Very likely probably won't puncture skin. So we can deploy those dogs and really take the risk out of hurting someone, because the last thing we want to do is bite, a missing kid. That's not good.
And it doesn't look scary coming at the kid.
No. If anything, and honestly, when the bloodhound gets there, they just want some love. And that's and that's the other thing about a bloodhound. They don't work for a ball. They don't care about toys. They could care less. Now, the guys, the dogs at the jail, because they mostly track in the woods, because that's what jail dogs and prison dogs do. That's where they're usually typically tracking out after missing inmates and things like that. They typically grab a stick and bring it back, right? But they don't go after a ball. They are literally working to do that because that's what they want to do, and they want love. Everything that Jazz ever did, it was always praise at the end.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe a cheeseburger.
So if that always helps, cheeseburgers always help. If somebody has a bloodhound that they got and it's now 6 months old and they don't like the smell or whatever, they can donate it, because
to me.
It knows what to do. If you put it to a work situation from a home situation, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is one of the few breeds that we're able to do something like that with, because there's not really a selection process for the bloodhounds, because they are all made to do the same thing. Now, health issues and stuff that we can't see, that's kind of
That's
important.
different.
But you're talking about a dog that's donated that we'd have to come out of pocket for. If the dog only works for 4 years, that's okay.
Right.
And we do all the training for them. We don't have to send them off to get any specialized training. These other dogs, they come with training on them already, because the amount of time that goes into training these dogs how to find narcotics and do all this other stuff, the bite work and things. I mean, we're talking 8 to 10 weeks of training for 3 or 4 hours a day when it's their turn. And for us to dedicate that kind of time, we're losing
That's labor
we're losing
intensive.
the ability to catch bad guys. So we have these dogs come train, and we just continue the training. And we train once a week as a team, every week. This week is Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Those guys are going to train.
That's right.
So,
it doesn't go away.
yes. So Taylor's on my shift. We'll train tomorrow while we're at work, because they're not going to train Thursday, because it's Thanksgiving. We're going to eat turkey, and those dogs going to eat turkeys. They're at home, so they're going to eat. But the training is ongoing. Everything is on. Everything they do is training. Getting into the car, out of the car, being fed at home. Everything is always training, especially with those dual-purpose dogs, those dogs that do the apprehension work, because we have to have complete control over those dogs. Because if we send them and you give up, we got to bring them back. And those guys put a lot of work into it, and they do a very good job.
Very briefly, wrapping it up here, go ahead and just explain the importance of having a canine unit for a sheriff's office, for a police department. What is the importance?
Because
and
it
what
is an investment of time,
what is it?
manpower, and money.
Yeah, and taxpayers want to know.
Yes,
What are
yes.
they paying for?
So these guys that work these dogs, when these dogs are out here on patrol, I mean, we've covered all the jobs they do. Having a Swiss Army knife available to you to come and save the day, and when I say save the day, and I'm not trying to pick on my teams and stuff, we got our specialty teams, our SWAT team and stuff like that. But when somebody gets away, you're calling us to come work a miracle to find that person, because now you can't find them, and we're here for it. And the more dogs we have available, the better off we're going to be. I always say the worst time that you could commit a crime and run is on a canine training day, because we're all there. And when you get the whole team out there looking for you, we typically are going to win.
They're going to find you
Yeah,
fast.
we're typically going to win. So, but having these dogs out here that do so many things, between finding explosives to getting the drugs off the streets to catching your guys that do run that we just can't win the foot chase with or whatever it is. But the biggest aspect and what we get the most thanks for are these families who have Alzheimer's and dementias, parents and stuff, or these constant runaway juveniles, or heaven forbid, the 2 or 3-year-old that walked away from the house.
Sure.
We're coming, and we're going to get out and we're going to bust our behind, and those dogs are going to bust our behind to find that loved one for you, and they're there. And with us being, the sheriff's office, we have to lead from the front. So, and we need to be out there. But as a whole in Bay County, all the other agencies around, their teams are getting stacked, and there's dogs galore around here, and they are probably single-handedly the most useful tool that we could put on the street that shows a difference.
I think we've learned that dogs are everywhere except this studio, which I'm very upset about. So, Lieutenant Hall, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
your time.
Yep. I'm going to go out to the kennel now and see what I can find, but for now, thank you.